Hello, this is my critical justice assignment, critical assignment for criminal justice. My name is Eduardo Salazar. This is for class CJS 213, section A, class title Intro to Criminal Justice, Professor Dr. Kling. Date of recording November 23rd, 2025. So we're going to be talking about AB 109, Prop 47, 57, and 36, their effects they have on the criminal justice system. And at the end, I'll be talking about what I think they have, my personal thoughts on these propositions. So, California AB 109, also known as Assembly Bill 109, is a California President Realignment Act. This bill was passed back in 2011 by the Californian governor at the time, Governor Brown. This bill was intended to shift nonviolent, non-high-risk, non-serious criminals from state prisons to local county prisons. This bill was created and signed off by Governor Brown to reduce the overpopulation crisis occurring in state prisons and move these non-serious criminals to county prisons for the purpose of reducing state prison occupants, but also to provide rehabilitation to non-serious criminals at the county level. Prop 57 and 47. Prop 57 is a voter-approved proposition passed in 2016. This prop was intended to allow non-serious criminals a chance at parole if they serve most of their time, as well as allowing criminals to earn good time or good credit for their sentences, and it allowed for rehab and training to prevent them from committing new crimes once they were released or prevent them from repeating their same crimes. Prop 47 was passed in 2014. Once again, it was a voter-approved proposition. Prop 47 was created to reclassify lower-level felonies to misdemeanors. Prop 47 was also created to help those that have substance abuse and mental disorders by providing government resources and agencies from money that was saved from state prisons funds due to the Realignment Act of 2011, AB 109. So, funds that were being able to be funds saved from AB 109 were able to be put into these resources to provide were able to be implemented into substance abuse and mental disorder resources thanks to AB 109 and the funds it acquired. Prop 36 was passed in 2024 elections. It was voted upon Californians to address problems in regards to homelessness, drug addiction, and theft. Prop 36 is very different in contrast to Prop 47. Prop 36 was created to correct Prop 47's problem. Prop 36 focuses on harsher sentencing for individuals that have two prior misdemeanors of the same offense. If caught for the third time, repeating the same offense can now be charged with a felony. Now, if criminals are charged with a felony, they now have to serve their time in state prisons rather than county jails. Prop 36 also focuses on thefts and how preventing theft. You could say Prop 36 was created to prevent theft and provide harsher sentences for thefts. Criminals of prior theft misdemeanors can also now be charged with felonies according to the Office of District Attorney County of Riverside. These misdemeanors can now be added up to see if they meet the overall value for a felony. However, if a criminal at risk of receiving felonies, if eligible, they can participate in treatment programs. Once these programs is complete, all charges are dropped. So if a criminal suffers from drug abuse and they're at risk of receiving a felony, if they opt in for a treatment plan, upon completion of said treatment plan, all their felony for substance abuse will be dropped. Have they been working as intended? AB 109 has been, whether it has been successful or not is a debate a lot of people have. If we look at what AB 9 was originally created for, then you could say it has worked due to the fact that it has reduced state prison population. It also has allowed for non-serious offenders at second chances and rehabilitation rather than a punishable intent. However, Penalties for property crimes and drug offenses that should be punishable in state prisons are no longer served in state prisons, but in county jails. AB 109 has also established problems at the county jails and probation officers because now probation officers have to struggle with dealing a greater number of offenders from many different backgrounds. Prop 57, since being introduced in California, has seen the number of people in parole go up, which was the main reason for Prop 57. Prop 57 has also allowed offenders to earn good credit towards their overall sentences. Once again, allowing offenders to achieve parole at a much faster rate. However, some arguments made for Prop 57 is that Prop 57 puts communities at higher risk for criminals being let go early, as well as not all counties follow the same guidelines when it comes to Prop 57. Now, talking about Prop 47 and has it been working as intended? If we look at the overall economic side of Prop 47, then yes, it has been effective because it has allowed for $160 million of funding, this money therefore being used for substance abuse services to be provided. However, the overall success of Prop 47 is still unknown because we cannot really classify whether changing previous felonies to misdemeanors have really done good or has really worked as intended. This is because we could still change how this changes how overall sentences can be executed now in the state of California. Prop 36 has been passed for just 1 year, and we have seen that since it has been passed, offenders usually opt in for treatment rather than getting charged with a felony. However, very few have actually gotten into these treatment plans, let alone complete their treatment plan. Only 1,290 individuals have elected for a treatment plan, but only 771 have been placed in treatment plans, with only 25 completing those treatment plans. Prop 36 is also facing struggles due to the funding it has received from the governor. The governor has not, since the passing of Prop 36, have not been providing the fundings necessary needed to keep the treatment plans more accessible, causing Prop 36 to not work as intended so far due to the funding it's receiving. But this could change as it has only been passed for 1 year. Now, what effects do these propositions have on the criminal justice system? Prop 57, 47, and 36 have a lot of effects on the criminal justice system. These effects are on a vast majority scale. These can be receiving opportunities for parole, good credit, which allows offenders to return to society quicker. These impacts also have classifications on felonies to misdemeanors, causing sentences to now being modified all across the state for serious crimes. It has also affected the criminal justice system, changing California and changing its focus from a punishing state to a rehabilitation, just to reduce overall prison crowding. So with that being said, it has changed California from punishing and focusing on punishing into more of a rehab and re-entering of society. As Christians, what do we think? We as Christians, obviously, we have different views whether these props reflect Christian values. If we look at the Bible and what Christ taught us, we could say that yes, these propositions allow for second chances and forgiveness towards others. As said in the Bible, forgive others for their mistakes as how I forgave you for yours. Some Christians, however, believe that criminals should face their punishments for justice and should be held accountable, as also said in the Bible, an eye for an eye. For most part, Christians do support Props 47 and 57 because it follows the gospel's message of redemption and forgiveness. However, Christians do not support Prop 36 because it does roll back the progress made from Prop 47, which would cause prison sentences to be made more prison sentences to be made rather than addressing mental health and drug addiction solutions. In conclusion, I believe that props 57 and 47 and prop 36 are good props. I believe that they were rightfully created. They they should have been created, and I'm glad they were created, even though I didn't vote for them. However, with that being said, I think that Props 47 and 57 do lack the proper guidelines and rules to make sure they're carried out effectively. Props 47 and 57 have a lot of gray areas where, let's say, not a lot of success has been made, to the point where I'm happy with the results. Prop 36, I believe, is a step in the right direction, allowing California to be a state of second chances, but it does make sure offenders take responsibility for their mistakes. So I believe the three strike rule is a very generous rule. 3 strikes, repeating the same offense. If you don't learn after the 3rd strike, you will receive a felony. I think that's pretty fair for both parties, the criminal justice system and overall civilians. Because, that just shows you haven't really learned from your mistake. You keep committing the same crime over and over. However, it does allow you to actually take responsibility and say, you know what, I keep messing up, but I'm looking to change myself and make the better version of me. And Prop 36 just lacks support from the governor. I feel like if it could receive more support, it would be really beneficial, and will be used to its optimal level for the Californian people. And that was it. This is my works cited page, and I hope you enjoyed my narrated presentation on the topics of Props 47, 57, and 36, and AB 109. And yeah.